G'day. What's up? Sorry if I'm an hour late to anyone in Southern Australia because there's no daylight saving in Queensland. We won't mention that as people have been to war for less, but there's no daylight saving, so you're an hour late, and I apologise. I hope I don't keep you up too long. Yeah, I meant to have sort of a heads up about daylight saving, but it just didn't happen. So sorry, I meant to say something last week, and someone did remind me, but a bit slack. Daylight saving here would be fantastic because it's daylight at like 4 a.m. and it's dark at 6 still. So, anyway, works for me. But, yeah, it's a bit of a pain down there, maybe. Anyway, what's happening? What's new? What exciting things are going down? Not very much, to be honest. I was just looking at a Evans ornamental turning lathe for sale on Facebook, but it's out of my price range and it's too far away, so probably not going to happen. Might have to build a replica one day when I've got run out of other projects. You didn't hear that here. Don't know whether it's worse, a goose or a turkey. You should stop feeding the pets or the animals. Fridge, it's not good. Thanks for watching the video on the pump, everyone. Dennis, new video from Dennis this week. That's momentous news and pretty impressed. Really enjoyed it. Little tool that I've often thought about buying and hasn't happened yet. A review on that. Thanks, Dennis. Cutting tool designer. So go and check that out if you don't already. He's promised a few more. Final colour for the water pump. Good question. No idea. Look, I painted it red. Right. I had this tin of One Shot bright red, which is awesome paint, nice quality enamel. It goes on, petrol doesn't lift it. Always been a little bit impressed with it for engines. There's about ½ inch of skin in the bottom of this tin, and that's all. When I lifted it off, and I thought maybe there was enough in there to paint this, and I put a coat of paint on it. It was all orange, peely and awful. So I cleaned it all off last night. And back to undercoat. So anyway, this is all going. It's got some RTF under there for a gasket. The pulleys on, the collars on the end, the bearings are pretty nice. I'm fairly pleased with them, I think. These actually line up, which is a bit of fun. It's got 2 bolt holes in the bottom for, I'll hold this over here so you can see it, to screw it down here. It needs an elbow out here to go to there, and an elbow out here to go to there. So orange is a complementary colour. I am thinking about it, but no, I better not. Might be a bit much. Don't know. It looks like it's going to be red. Everyone seems to like the red, so I'm gonna hit it with some red a bit later on and get it done for testing at some point. But this is a nice sized little engine, little pump. This should running on there. That's about 30 mil, and that's about 5 to 1, something like that, or 1 to 5. So at 400 revs, this should do about 2,000, something like that. That's getting on a bit, but that should give us pretty reasonable flow. Probably way too much. We might have to put a tap in here. We'll see. So pretty pleased with that, and I think it's a pretty nice little pump actually. Needs a bit of a sand up and some red paint on it. What's next? Don't know with this engine. Yeah, I do actually. Here we go. Clear hoses are a great idea, Dan. That's a pretty smart idea actually. We really don't want the thing to blow up or the vein off the side of it or something like that. What colour's the fountain? I'm only getting half the stupid text here. Hang on, I'm going to change this. Anyway, next job, 2 blocks of bits of aluminium there, and some bits. I'm a bit annoyed that this spring come bent in the packet, but this is the needle valve for the demand valve. And I thought in this packet there was a diaphragm, but I don't know where that went. Better turn up. There it is. It's in a different packet. So there's a diaphragm as well, which basically all that does is this suction that opens the valve enough to let some gas in. It only supplies fuel when you've got a vacuum in the cylinder or in the manifold. So hopefully that works. Jolly politics, Mark. Sorry, you know who the ex-porn star is, and I'm sure you all do. No one actually made a comment about it, which was good because I would have shut the whole lot down. But I didn't really want to make the post political, so I put that spin on it, which is a perfectly reasonable spin from a different place in the universe. But honestly don't care about it. You put that stuff on your wall and I won't judge you for it very much, right? But when you put it on a Facebook group where everyone from all over the world's got to interact and play nicely, and it's only all that some of them can do to even be civil, you're inviting World War III. And there was, on the original post in a couple of hours, there was like 60 comments, and some of them were getting a bit vitriolic, and there was half a dozen reported instances where it was reported, and I just removed it. But don't do that. I'm glad some of you are paying attention. But the original post is like someone posted a picture of First Lady of America and asked for prayers or something, and wasn't the place or the time to do it. And I spoke to a moderator from another couple of groups, like big groups, a fairly well-known guy on the internet, I guess, this morning, who got in touch with me. That's Ivan Rivers. And Ivan said he booted the same guy from 3 groups this morning for similar stuff. So bad luck, but don't do that. There's a Discord server, Spare Room Machine Shop. There's a link in the description if you really want to go and have a look. It's not worth the trouble. Of course it is. It's awesome. There's a Discord server. If you want to chat to someone about stuff like that, there is actually a room for that sort of crap with padded walls and stuff. And if you post something that's totally ridiculous, someone will probably tell you that you're an idiot. And at this point, it's fairly balanced. If it becomes less balanced, I'll shut it down. But anyway, there we go. That's me. Diagram for radiator. No diagrams for radiator. Sorry. Right. It's got a pump. Right. It's got a casting that's going to look something like this, with a pipe through the hose through the bottom, right, and a screw fitting in there. This is going to have a flexible hose from here up to the center of the pump, right? On top of this, there's going to be a hollow tank like this, just a rolled up tank, I think, right? That's going to bolt on there. Thanks, Tom, for the link. Right? So this is going to have water in it. It's going to pump out of there, and it's going to pump through here into the side of the motor. So this pipe here, right, across here with another rubber hose, and it's going to fill this up and pump out of here and over the top of a mesh screen, which may or may not look anything like this, right? To cool the water back into the tank. That's how it's going to work. Does that make any sense at all? Yeah, there's some awesome model engine groups too, and some pretty good machinist groups as well. But if you ignore what other people write on their walls, you get on a lot better. So anyway, that's theoretically how that's going to work. Right, I believe that this pump at 2000 RPM is going to really push some water out. So it's probably going to need a bypass or a valve or something to stop it or limit it or close it down or give it a bit of head pressure or something. I don't know. Probably it just needs a bypass in it. Or we're going to end up with like this tank empty in 20 seconds and water everywhere. Right, wooden plinth. I don't know if there's going to be a wooden plinth. This needs to really be a little bit higher than just on the baseboard because I'm going to jam my fingers under here. So I would like this 16 millimeters. I don't think that it's going to be wood because wood soaks up oil and it looks awful, right? What I would really like is a piece of black acrylic, the same size shape as the outline of the engine, to bolt through onto this. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. A bit of 16 mil aluminium and water jet cut might be nice too, but at this point haven't got that either. Something like that for there. Right, this is a piece of 3mm aluminium sheet that's going to be the base of the model. Right. Not really. Craig, this block of wood here is just a spacer, and I put it on there to screw it down to the bench while I got it running. But it's going to have, this is going to sit up on a frame with a handle on each end and a switchboard in the front, and room for electrical gear, etc. in the bottom. So that's the theory. I think this is too high. I reckon 16mm would do here, which is 3mm shorter. And I'd like it to match this so it looks the part. And then this can sit there and this can sit there, because this really wants to be lower than the water height of the tank to pump. For a centrifugal pump, it needs to be lower than the pump. So I've made a stand there, and probably it could go up there. I don't think it wants to be. I think this tank is probably going to be more that height. If we're going to go there. Right, something about that height with a long cone on it, up to about this tall. So a cone like that, and then just this much water in the bottom of it circulating through so that it doesn't. That's the thought. I will see as it goes. Hey, Scott. Okay, you can't tell whether it's moving or not because there's no actual movement here. Sorry about that. Anyway, that's the theory. I think that's going to be quite a lot taller than that, like a steeper cone, and then a cap over the top that this pipe's going to. Next job though is to get it running first. Okay. Are we perfectly clear? Is everyone happy? Does that make any sense at all? That's the theory. What else? I'm going to etch a couple of plates for switchboards. Some artwork, something like that. That's mirror image. To go on there with an on-off switch and a fuse. And I'm probably going to put like a, on the other side anyway, like a Stuart Turner plate on there or something. Maybe. Just little finishing jobs, but I'm really, a lot of this is just procrastinating, getting the thing started. Mark has a absolutely and fairly smart, to be honest, comment. That sounds smart. Maybe I could make the base a little bit taller and bring the tank up to here. I think that's probably about the level of the tank or a bit more. But it looks a bit spindly, really. I'm not sure. I've seen both styles on engines and I haven't made up my mind. Probably doesn't matter as much with the piston pump because it keeps the level. But I guess with a pump like that, it's going to drain back down. I'll probably etch them out of brass sheet. I've got the bits of brass already cut. I just haven't bothered etching them yet. I've just got ordinary on-off toggle switch, a nice one. That'll do. If we go in there. Knife switches are a bit sort of, yeah, I don't know about that. But just a toggle switch and a fuse. Modern stuff, reliable. Anyway, that's the update on the 400. What else is happening? What other exciting things? What other exciting things? No mail. Got some whey oil from Man Cave. You should check that out if you're looking for some. Australian distributor in small quantities. Man Cave Metals. Go and see him. That's a plug for him. Don't know. We're only 20 minutes in and I've pretty much exhausted all topics. What else is happening? Who else has got a project that they're onto? Yep, got no blessed idea at all, JB. You're going to have to ask someone. Someone might know. Oh, Maddie's building an oil can, so that's the next big project. Make some drawings. Or get someone to make some drawings, or send it up here and let me make some drawings. Seriously, send your sketches up or scan them or take pictures of them and I'll make some drawings if it's something you want to do like that. Happy to. Like, really be happy to do that. There might be someone who's better at it, but I could probably fit it into my schedule and be fun to do it. Everyone needs another oil can. So it might be a pretty cool sort of a project. Have we covered the fuel diaphragm? Yes. This is the valve. That's the needle valve, which basically operates on this diaphragm, or the diaphragm operates the fuel valve. And what happens is that when you get a vacuum under there, the diaphragm moves and the valve opens a fraction and lets a little bit of gas out. So basically, demand valve. I need 2 oil cans. I need one for steam oil too. I just want to clarify something. There was some discussion about using 3-in-1 oil for model steam engines. I just want to point out that there is, over there on the corner of the bench where you can't see it, and I apologise for that, and we even zoom out. No, we can't zoom out any further. A bottle of steam oil. So I'm not actually that person. Because there were those that judge you on using 3-in-1 oil for stuff. If it's a watch or a clock, I'm one of those, so please don't do that. $14 carbide slot reel. Ouch! So you need to regrind it. There's a job. You got a nice bit of 14mm carbide for something anyway. I don't know. Yeah, no idea. Yeah, he sent it as a gift for someone with a D-bit grinder. That's a really nice thing. Or we'll spend some time sharpening it yourself. And put this stuff away. A diagram of the special screwdriver. No special screwdriver come with it. I do have a diagram. So that's a project. What's the best cutting oil? Except for the bottle, which is crap. Someone put a garbage can or something over the top of a fridge from Dan's shed, please, and just let him in the corner to cool off a bit, because I've stirred him up, obviously. He appears to have been just on the boil. Maybe if we put a garbage can over the top of him in the corner and left him there for a bit, he might quieten down. But I'm sorry if I upset you. I like this stuff, which is Tap Magic, because it's not smelly and it's reasonably cheap, and it used to come in a really cool metal tin that never used to leak, but now it's in one of these plastic containers you can't stop leaking. Need a bigger bottle of that. This stuff, right? This isn't bad tapping fluid. This is Tricky's. Tricky Specialty Lubricants, Bundy Sales, Ashgrove, Queensland. They're just down the road, right? So they're locals. This isn't bad stuff, but it stinks. It's got a bit of sulfur or something in it. I don't know. It smells like road coal, but it's a bit thicker. I guess you could run it or water it down a bit with something. I don't know what. But this is pretty good stuff on the mill, because it sticks like excrement to a blanket. Really, it doesn't fly off, and it doesn't make a mess, and it doesn't drip, and it sticks to cutters, especially at horizontal mill speeds. But I like this. Bundy Sales, I think you'd probably find them at, there's a website there, bundy.com, www.bundy.com.au. Never looked at the website. They may have other things as well. But this is good stuff, and it's a reasonable price, and it's locally made. That's sulfur thread cutting oil, I would say, basically. What I would like to hook up to the shaper and to the horizontal mill is basically a drip oil system rather than a pressurized system. Just a bit of pipe with a tap. Friend gave me a tap this afternoon. I have another one there, but it's just a tap basically, with some sort of control to control the drip. on the back on the cutter. That's what I'm probably going to do on the horizontal mill with a tank, like a tin tank in the best 1920s style, soft soldered, etc. So that's the plans for that. Probably it might not be that tap, but I will find or make a tap. But in the old books, there's quite a lot about drip feed oilers for horizontal mills, and I think they're the way of the future. I kind of like that idea. Mist cooling is all right, but it kind of gets everything wet, which is probably the name idea of it. Hey Ian, good to see you. Tommy's onto that with the foot pump, and that wouldn't be a bad idea on a shaper either, to be honest, because you really don't need a drip every stroke. I generally put a bit of tap magic on the face before I start cutting, and it lasts all the way along because my shaper doesn't get anything real hot. So there you go. Don't know what else really. It's a bit slack, but I haven't really done much except built that pump. I spent the last 2 weekends pretty enthusiastically getting this finished. This is probably good. I don't know how corrosive it is. I've never had a problem with it, but it might mark stuff up too. See how later than normal. Sorry, Richard. Appreciate you stopping by. Have a good sleep. There's projects. I talked to Quinn today for a bit. Quinn Dunkey at Blondie Hacks. If you don't watch Blondie Hacks, you should check her out. She's an awesome chick, and she's good fun, and she's pretty smart. She shows all the mistakes, and she gets a bit of flack for doing things a long way around, but she makes some good videos. Nothing, Tommy, nothing to say about Joe that I could actually repeat. So there we go. How are we going with that? Yeah, no, nothing that was repeatable. But anyway, there we go. I got a bit of a handle on that, and at this point, I'm well and truly on Team Quinn's side because she's awesome. She did do a stupid thing though, with a milling machine. Now, I don't know why. Right here. This is the X-axis table lock on my mill, right? Bear in mind that this was made and plated in 1946 or something, 1943. And it's had a bit of hard life, but there's no way you can get the gib tight enough to lock the table with this little knob, right? It's just not going to happen. The problem being, if you put, I've dropped that now, it's gone, that's it, it's the end of that. If you put a longer handle on, like a T handle, the problem is that when you lock it in some positions, it's in the way and something runs into it. So what she's done is changed the knobs to, or the handles to knobs. And what I'm about to do is change the knobs to handles. So I'm not sure I see eye to eye on table lock knobs. So there we go. So there is a little spring-loaded lever that's available, which my D-bit grinder has, and which I know where to buy, or I could make, that you pull out and you can move into a different position and then use it to lock as well. So that's probably what I'm going to do for the milling machine lock. Whether I buy some, because I think they're probably Whitworth. I'm not sure. I reckon they're 1/4 inch Whitworth. But it's really not a very good design. If you want to lock it, you've really got to tighten the gib up with the spanner. Kip handles is the word. Thank you, Tom. A kip handle, that's exactly it. So that's what I'm going to do. I also need a couple for my thread cutting attachment, which is gathering momentum again. Who wants to look at that in state of play? Let's get rid of some of this plastic crap. There's less plastic crap on this engine than there was some time ago. McGing, there we go. McGing has them. D&D Barry and Melbourne, Sydney have them as well. They're pretty good to deal with. I've dealt with them a bit. They've got good German ones. This is dusty and I'm a bit ashamed of that. This hasn't been on the machine. Basically they look like this. And you pull them out to turn into a different position on the hex to lock. So there we go. This is a project I need to finish. Big thanks to anyone who helped with this. This actually come from D&D Barry. This is a little German detent. This probably needs a box. It needs a few more change gears. I did print a decent 63 hole indexing plate for my dividing head so I can cut a 63 tooth wheel. And gosh, this is dirty. I'm out of rag. That's the problem. I meant to go to the rag shop this morning, but it didn't get there. Anyway, probably tomorrow morning. That's what the handles look like, Matt, I guess. So this needs one of those little handles on here, on this one, because all I've got is a set screw here, which isn't much good really. But I haven't even shortened it up. I've just got a nut on there to give it a bit more space. It's a bit crap. But this needs one of those handles on there. We put it this way up. It all needs a good clean up. And we need to do something about a guard for it. We need to make a quick release for here of some sort, or I've got some sort of idea about this, I think, at the moment. Sort of plotted something out of that. So a bit of work still in that. And there's also, would have been really nice this week to have this set up as a power feed, but it didn't happen. I could have used that today, the last couple of days. You could actually make one with a rotary broach. That's very true, Tom. That's a really interesting idea. Don't know about Rothenberger. Probably. You've got all that precision grinding gear. You could probably just fix the one you got. So that's a thought. I really want to get this back on the machine, and I want to. There's a few little bit. There's a month's work in this still. If Craig can get them as a sponsor, that's awesome. Anyway, that's where we're at. That's another project that I'm going to have to get back on and finish. There's only little things to finish it off, and I use it regularly, but it's only still a compromise because it's still not quite right in a few places. It needs a clean up, and it needs some proper finishing, and it needs some attachments and bits and pieces. I joke about it, but it'd probably happen. Can someone put the Knackler's Workshop on timeout for making comments like that, please? Hey Nigel, good to see ya. Do I have many unfinished projects? Probably a dozen. Like a dozen major projects. This is one of them. This one's getting towards being almost finished. Right? I'm a little bit impressed about that. There's another railway locomotive that's over there on the other bench. That's half finished. He doesn't get all upset. We just give him a squirt of 3-in-1 and that calms him down, you see. There's a box for a surface plate somewhere. That's another project that needs to be finished, is the surface plate. All the bits are here and they're all glued up. I need to make some hinges. Woodwork's difficult when everything's dirty, and that's my excuse, but really I'm just being slack with that. Needs fixing. I've got more projects I haven't started than ones that I haven't finished, if that's any consolation to anyone. Been using the tapping machine a bit this weekend. It's an amazing thing. It's something I don't use enough. I'm probably going to use it more now. I've tried it with some really small taps and haven't managed to break any. JB. Yes, there's a little hit and miss engine to build. There's a couple of steam engines to build. There's another railway locomotive to build. There's no gauge locomotive to finish. There's a boiler to finish. There's 2 boilers to finish. One to go to America. There's... Oh, it's just depressing even thinking about it. But yes, I've got a lot of unfinished projects, yes. I've got one of those little Carbotech ones. It's not bad. It's not big enough. If we go in there, it's really not big enough. But I don't have space for anything bigger. So, to my mind, if I find a second-hand cast iron one that I've got to refinish, that's probably the best option. For me, granite's a bit of a pain in the neck. I have got mine in the drawer on my tool chest under my grinder, which is a really stupid place to keep it, but you keep the drawer shut and covered up, it's okay. They're not cheap. If you're interested in throwing some serious cash, I know people who have been importing 1 or 2, but they're pretty solid. So, and they take time. So it takes a while to realise your investment there, but they are about. But honestly, keep an eye on greys online and find a second-hand one that's been used as a welding table. Hit it with a scraper and a decent big coarse file, and go and find someone with a surface plate to give you a hand to scrape it, and you'll learn a lot. Paddy, rag shops. We need to probably talk about rag shops. I have a nuts and bolt shop which sells everything from cutting oil to ring lock fencing to rotor broaches to countersinks to eye bolts to woodworking screws to hacksaw blades to O-ring kits. And they have vacuum packed bags of rags for $25 for about 8-10 kilos, right? So, they also sell nuts and bolts, yeah. So what I do is I go and pay my $25, and that's a lifetime, well, it's a 6 months or 8 months or 12 months supply of decent cotton rags, right? But it's been a while since I've done that, so I meant to do it this morning and it didn't happen. So there we go, that's clarified that. If I wanted a hacksaw blade, it'd be the hacksaw blade shop, same place. Take care, Dennis. Enjoyed your video. Go and check out Cutting Tool Designer. Good channel. Nice guy. Anyway, I think I'm nearly going to cut this one short because I'm running out of things to say. It might be different next week when I've got this engine running, but don't hold your breath on it. Haven't had lunch yet or dinner yet. I was a bit late sort of getting home. It's the middle of the night in Tasmania and I'm sorry about that. Yeah, 10 kilogram bag of rags is pretty good value. And you can wear them in the workshop during the day when she's at work, fridge, and no one really notices, which is always good, I guess, if that's your thing. Yeah. I'm not sure if you'd last much longer though, Dan. Anyway, I'm going to call this. Had enough. It's the middle of the night everywhere. Someone over there's digging themselves in a hole. Thanks heaps for tuning in. Thanks for watching my pump videos. I put up video 31 and 32 of this engine build series, which covers this pump, just on YouTube a week later. I'll put up 31 anyway. 32 will come up next week. Just to keep things current, because I feel like I haven't made a lot of good YouTube content for the last 12 months or so. And I apologise for that. But anyway, it's up and it's all done. Anyway, take care, guys. Catch you on Patreon if you're out and if you're that way inclined. If you're not, I'll catch you in the political post on Facebook and block you. Don't catch anything. Be kind to each other. And more soon. I'm out.